Hi, everybody. It is March 17th, 2022, and this is a video going out to my newsletter community. My name is Sarah Elise, and I'm an astrologer in Toronto, Canada. Um, Guys, I just want to talk to you today a little bit about this full moon that's happening tomorrow morning. In Toronto, or in Eastern Standard, it's going to be happening at around 3:17 a.m. That's when the moon comes to exactly 27 degrees and 40 seconds of Virgo. So we are at the very end of our Pisces cycle. So this full moon is happening literally like 3 days before we move into Aries. So we're at 27 degrees of Pisces. The sun will be tomorrow. So we're at the very end of a cycle and we're about to begin springtime, like we're about to kind of rebirth ourselves. So we're just to acknowledge that like this is literally the end of the astrological calendrical year. And we're coming into on the 20th, we have the spring equinox, right? That's the revival point, or the time when we enter into spring officially, when we enter into Aries officially. So happy birthday. And may things turn a beautiful corner for us all very soon. Now, to get into the specifics of this full moon, I'm finding it really fascinating. Like I feel like I have a feeling that I might talk a little bit. I'm going to try and not. I'm feeling a bit under the weather today, and I just took my COVID rapid test, and I'm negative, so I don't believe I have COVID, but I am feeling a little dulled down, and I have been noticing the last week or so, you know, as the sun has swept across Neptune and Pisces. The energy has been kind of warbling, or there's been this kind of a feeling of everything kind of becoming a little bit more diffuse, or a little less sure. There's kind of like an emptiness or an invitation into sensation and feeling, and going beyond logic and going beyond form. There's this invitation into intuition right now. There's this invitation into magic. And this is, so the last week has been a little bit like that. It's been a little bit like these dimensional gates are opening up, right? Like these different ways of perceiving are becoming much more available. And what's happening right now, and this full moon is a really beautiful opening to this, is that we're going to be having a Jupiter Neptune conjunction coming really, really soon, the first week of April. In fact, the conjunction that'll be happening between Jupiter and Neptune comes in on April 9th at exact degree, and lasts just until April 12th. So it's just a few days where the two of them are going to be sitting neck to neck at 23 degrees of Pisces. So there, but the lead up, like we're in the lead up, right? So Jupiter is within 5 degrees of Neptune. And so we will feel this conjunction now, and we will feel it all the way to the end of April. In fact, we'll feel it into May. We will feel it beyond the end of April. We're probably going to feel it all the way until Jupiter hits 0 degrees of Aries, which is on the 11th of May. So we're entering like not a normal time. Let's just say this is not a normal time. And I remember when I listened to my teacher, Alan Oken's 2022 forecast, he really called this conjunction out. God rest his soul. Alan passed away about a week ago. Now, a little bit more than a week ago. So he has gone on, and which makes his teaching even more relevant to me, to hold sacred, right? And I remember when he brought this conjunction forward in December of 2021, and he said, this time will be very, very pivotal on a collective level, because the energy that's generated when you get Jupiter joining Neptune in Pisces, the energy that this is going to create will reverberate down through every human being on this planet. We will all feel this. The entire energetic field will be impacted, and is already being impacted. However, it is very important for us to acknowledge that Pisces as an archetype is not just love and light. It's not just, ooh la la, I'm so ascended and I'm all spiritual. It actually organizes around a hell of a lot of chaos and a hell of a lot of horror. So, and a lot of delusion. At personality levels, you know, Pisces does not necessarily, I mean, it rules lunatic asylums and prison and karma and delusional kind of fantasy and disassociation and all kinds of like sort of false ways that we experience emotion, right? Like the elevation of our emotional potential. I mean, Pisces really is an archetype that includes everything, the full spectrum of experience, from the worst of the worst horror evil to the most transcendent of potentials. It is that entire range of everything. It's the yin yang. It's the wholeness that is created from, and that includes every single potential. So one of the most important things to remember in the next couple of weeks, and I feel like this full moon is bringing us into attunement with this, because it's a Virgo full moon and it's creating a beautiful grand trine of Earth in the chart between Pluto, North Node, and Moon, all funneling down to create a kite that's pointing at Neptune itself at 23 degrees, which is the degree point of this conjunction in 2 weeks. The whole thing is pointing us today for the full moon toward, can we be more specific and articulate with our energy right now? Like, can you find within you a way to be with this Piscean acceleration so that you are anchored into your own center and into your own place of holy, reverential kind of prayerfulness, right? Like, can you find the inner prayer? Can you find the inner sanctuary so that we can stay clean and clear during these next few weeks, so that we can add to the dream of this planet, so that we can activate this gate that's opening, so we can receive something beautiful rather than getting caught up in the delusional sort of emotional activation that's happening on the earth right now. There's like this wild, because at a personality level, out of control Pisces can be incredibly difficult and wild, right? Out of control astral energy, like wild craziness. And sort of misappropriation of your own, like self-aggrandized, inappropriate emotional delusion. Let's just say that. So I am the second coming of Christ kind of thing, right? Like you can get a little caught up in the fantasy of this Piscean dream and lose the reality of it. And the reality is that all of us are here. We're all one with each other, okay? And all of us have a sacred responsibility to take care of ourselves and to take care of each other, yeah? And to organize according to your own perfect systemic alignment. You need to be responsible for your own alignment right now. And you need to anchor into your own self and find that pulse, where that place of real humility, that Virgoan place where you are simply what you are, no more, no less, no more, no less. And that you can create like a heart space. Like I'm almost imagining like almost like a, like to find your own inner pulse with this energy, you have to kind of go into the heart and go into the higher mind and connect them and create a channel that connects you up so that you can bring the higher frequencies in to your body and let them reorganize yourself. Like let them do the work that they want to, like let the higher frequency come in and do the work it's meant to do. Like if you look at the pattern for this full moon, I'm just going to share my screen with you guys for a sec, but you'll notice that like this beautiful structure here is all like, we've got Pluto sextiling the sun, okay? Pluto sextiling Neptune, Neptune sextiling the North Node. You've got Mercury sextiling Uranus. There are really interesting indicators that suggest that there's something changing. There's like a transformation happening. There's a rebirth and a discovery of some kind of a new dream or a new inner anchor point of wisdom and higher focus. It's like we're getting ready for something. But if you get caught up in the mania or in the panic or in the fear or in the chaos, you're going to miss the you won't miss the boat because you are the boat, but you might feel like you're being thrown around in choppy seas at the moment, you know. And perhaps this full moon is kind of reminding us that to be in balance, we have to be in the immaculate emotional center. We have to be in the self. We have to be in that spot, that Virgoan place where there is no complication. There's just presence. Okay, that's what I call the inner prayer. It's the inner Om, right? It's that place where there's just stillness and acquiescence to God. That's it, which is all it is, essentially. So there's this pristine quality of presence that you can kind of find and articulate during this lunar gate, during this thing. And I'm also really interested by the fact that Pluto is at 28 degrees of Capricorn right now. Like it's almost like the patriarchy is in its final death throes, right? It's in its final agonizing end. And when we look at what's happening in Russia and Ukraine, I mean, honestly, this is its own patriarchal nightmare imploding on itself, right? This is the last vestiges of that lunatic impulse toward consuming everything, holding everything, being in control of everything, having it all, right? It's like greed, and it's like a nightmare of greed, and it's on fire. It's going to implode. It's going to destroy itself from within. So it's a fascinating time out there. There's a lot of crazy, but if we could just remember that as humans, we can find that place, or that inner prayer, that place of that inner sacred place, and we can really anchor up so that we can bring a new vision or a new dream into the ecosystem, into the collective, right? Neptune conjunct Jupiter conjunct Sun in Pisces, a new dream, a new vision of what it means to be part of this collective, part of this whole, a new higher perspective, right? Or a higher energetic frequency. So we can elevate our frequency right now in really, really concrete ways. If we can kind of tune into this full moon, receive that impulse of presence and strength, taking care of ourselves, right? Nurturing, going into the internal self and being immaculate and calm. And then hopefully that will lead us through the next few weeks as this alignment comes in. Now, I want to just like affirm, like this alignment is massive. Like this is a really, really big deal in April with these two planets coming together. They both rule Pisces, Jupiter and Neptune. And it's going to be a lovely experience for us if we can ride it. And I'm opening up a moon school for the month of April. I've decided, just really last minute, to work with a group of people through that lunar cycle. So we're going to meet every Friday night, and we're going to learn about how to tune our vibrational field, or tune our will, tune our intent to the lunar cycle, the Aries lunar cycle that starts on April 1st. And I chose this month because of this conjunction, right? The energy is going to be so generous and so generative and so creative and so available that to work within a sacred space with each other is going to, I'm hoping that it gives us a little bit more structure, and so that we can kind of organize around this energy together and kind of and help ourselves with accessing it or with utilizing it. But who knows, right? We'll see how that goes. I just want letting you know that it's available. If you want more details, please go to my website, and you can register for that there if you've been wanting to learn how to work with the moon. This is just going to be kind of like a one-time thing. But otherwise, yeah, I want everybody to be really aware of this conjunction, and the fact that it can take you out or it can take you up, and it's going to be up to you whether you want to be above the line and be in that higher frequency, or whether you want to just swim with the fishes, right, and swim in the chaos and just find yourself in the field itself as it reorganizes itself. I'm sure that either way we're going to get something really interesting out of this, but just to honor my teacher Alan, it was his instruction that we create this time and that we use this time like a almost, what was he said, like a monastic time, like that we take this time and we treat it with respect, and that we go into the inner monastery and that we do our work. So anyway, long story short, I'm going to stop talking now. I know I've repeated myself 14 times. I just want to leave you with this video on this full moon to say, you know, take this Virgo moment to realize that while things outside look really crazy, there is a place of, there's a sanctuary of peace within you. And you have the power to tune up and tune in so that you can bring down a higher current or a higher vision or a higher love. And you do not have to let it blow you out. You can hold it with precision. And so this full moon, I think, is inviting us into that precision so that we can anchor in and ride a boat through the storm, so to speak, over the next 6 weeks. It's also a culmination point, saying goodbye to the last year and hello to something new. All right, I will leave it at that. Please let me know if you have any questions or if you have any comments. I always love to hear from you. Thanks, guys. Bye.